see.
Okay, I'm with Sharon, Artworks Art for All, and you've got a glass painting exercise going on here. Is this medieval in atmosphere and spirit?
It is, because we started off, we've got some medieval designs in our box, so kids can choose a medieval design if they want to.
Yeah.
But obviously we've got very creative people in Barrow. So there's a lovely young lad over here who is doing a medieval Simpsons design.
Well, they've got ancestors, so they must have had medieval ancestors.
Exactly. So you pick your design and draw it on in, we've got black outliners or black pens, and then once that's dry you can then work into it with glass paints.
So is this the first time Artworks has been involved with the Furness Abbey
It is,
Fellowship
yes, it is.
Fair?
It is.
Are you pleased about that?
It's been really lovely atmosphere.
Have you had good uptake?
We've not stopped.
I've just come and sat down, and there's 4 youngsters here, looking dead happy and busy.
Oh, the concentration, and that's what we found is, we've had people with us all day. So we've got a lovely pile of glass jars that people are collecting once they've sort of dried, so they can take them home. And it has just been continual, but it's just been lovely. Good. We've had adults.
So the idea of decorating glass isn't really very modern, is it? We don't do this nowadays. We buy it already.
We do. It's usually decorated, or it's plain, and we don't even think about it now.
The people who made the windows here had to paint them by hand years ago, so we're sort of looking back to that.
Yeah, and we've got again the inspiration we've got is original designs.
Have many youngsters used the medieval designs?
There have been quite a few that have, which has been really lovely.
We'll take a few photographs.
Yeah, we drew out some of the some designs. So, for example, we've got on here we've got a very original design that someone did.
A spidery web, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah.
And then the idea was that once this is the outliner that you can see is sort of a bit bobbly, is that then some people have just been colouring those in for us. So then you get the stained glass kind of design, which I know is always hard to talk about when you're doing it on a radio. But so we've got some lovely designs kids have then done of their own based on this. So we've got an arch. It does look like a window in the Abbey, actually, doesn't it? Can you see?
So you're here representing... Oh, sorry, go on. Did you do this?
No. This is my first time here. Good. This is... it would probably be some form of British arch from, 1066.
After the Norman conquest and Battle of Hastings, and they started building castles and churches, didn't they? Everywhere they built castles and churches.
And that is, you're right, that probably is. That's very
cool.
Yeah.
I was going to say, tell me about Artworks. You're here today representing Artworks, but this isn't the only thing you do.
It isn't, no. We were actually based at Howard Street Hub in Barrow.
Yep.
And basically we run a series of workshops in the week for the community. So they're free workshops. We do a Friday morning group, which is for anyone who can come along. We do printmaking, we do all sorts of different activities.
You do all aspects of artists' creative activity.
It is, all of them, everything for anybody at all. So whether you are isolated, you're lonely, maybe some people have mental health issues, people that just have time on their hands, anyone can come. They're free. And people come and they're just found by doing art it gets them away from the problems, and also they get meeting other people.
So it's every day there's some activities.
We're currently Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We're hoping soon to start doing weekends.
So are you lucky with funding? Are you well funded?
We are not, no.
All right. You said you're a CIC, which is a community interest company,
and we're not for profit.
Which means you should be able to attract
we do. We have we also have projects we do. So we do 2 large projects a year. So we've just announced our next project, which starts in September, which is called Barrow Trumps, and it's going to be top trumps game. But every building is going to be a heritage building in Barrow.
Of course, we've got plenty.
We have. So we've got 44 cards.
And are some of them lying sort of neglected and dilapidated?
There are. And in fact, where we are now may also be in the pack.
Good.
So we've got 44 different buildings. The idea is different community groups have a card or 2 cards in the pack, and they have to find certain information that goes on every card, like how old the building is, the cost of the building, how high the building is, things like that. The beauty, which we always say is quite contentious. And we've got a whole range from possibly Furness Abbey, right the way through to Wetherspoons, which when you look into its history is...
Well, when I was young, that was the court.
Exactly.
Do you remember that?
I don't, but people have told me about it.
We used to go, and my mum used to get a divvy with the dividend thing with you saved as you bought.
Right through to, we've got things like the Black Huts on there, we've got Furness College, we've got the House of Lords.
Sadly still derelict, is it?
It is, but again, looking at the history of why that's happened, what it used to be, and even the telephone boxes outside the library.
Right.
So we're going to do a draw so that all the people involved randomly get a building that they have to go and photograph. They have to research, so they'll be using the library to look at certain facts and bits of information, and then we're actually going to make the game and get it printed.
Yeah, good. So Artworks has staff who are all volunteers. So
all
the whole
volunteers.
thing,
Run by
all
volunteers.
The leaders, the directors are all volunteers.
Yeah.
That's fabulous.
Yeah. 10 of us were all volunteers. It's just great to be able to give back to the community as well, and it's great because we're 10 people with totally different backgrounds. So we've got ex-nurses, we've got retired teachers, all sorts, and we've all just come together because again we just want to try and improve people's mental health and well-being, and arts is the way we
and it
do
improves yours as well at the same time, to be involved in leading things and seeing the response the reaction and the benefit that you give to people.
Yeah, and we work with everybody. So that's the other thing, is we've got 44 cards, but we've also already got 24 different groups involved, and that's everyone from like the deaf club, dyslexia group, stroke group, Alzheimer's. If people want to get involved, we'll get involved with them.
And the top line there on your banner says community arts for all.
Yes,
and that's everybody.
It is absolutely anybody.
Gender,
we work everybody.
Whatever.
So from age 2, so I think the eldest we worked with is 92, and everybody in between. So completely inclusive.
So, I'm with Catherine Stevens, sculptor, who was here for the first time at Furness Abbey. Have you had a good morning, a good day, a good afternoon now, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I've had an absolutely fantastic day, actually. I've had lots of chats about clay and pottery and what we can do around this area in terms of using clay more, and I've been showing everybody the techniques that would have been used in medieval times.
So what is this particular sort of pottery called?
So basically it's just stoneware, ceramics, and back in the day, in medieval times, they would have used quite primitive techniques, a bit like pinch pottery, which is what I'm doing at the moment, pinching clay between your fingers and your thumb, just to make the shapes that you need. And a lot of pottery that was made back in that time period would have been household pieces that would have stored food and liquids.
How long have you been sculpting and ceramicing?
Yeah, so I've been playing with clay for about 30 years.
Because the children on the next stall are having a great time playing.
They're having an absolute fabulous time.
Because there's 2 clay stalls together, aren't they? And they're sort of getting hands on and mucky.
They've absolutely had a whale of a time. They've made lots of different things, lots of balls and animals and things like that. And I started when I was about 20. I went to an evening class, and I just used it as what would be now known as kind of like mindfulness, as a bit of a stress release. And then I would say about 5 years ago, I then went and made it into my second career.
Right. The clay that you're using today, is it a special quality clay? I mean, can you just dig a hole in the garden and get a handful of clay and make pots?
You can actually.
Can you?
Yeah. But depending on what clay it is, some clay melts at different temperatures. Okay. So this particular clay is really good for wood firing. And I'm actually going to take the pieces that I've made today down to Oxford University and fire them in September as part of their wood firing. So they'll be ash glazed.
So that's not something you could just set up in your own backyard, is it, wood firing?
No. So at home in my studio I use electric kiln. So I'm really excited to kind of like use methods that would have been used in medieval times to make the work, but then I'm also going to be firing them in quite an ancient technique as well, so I'm going to see it right through the journey, so I'm looking forward to seeing how they come out.
So do you teach?
Yeah, so I run. I run workshops.
Okay.
And I also go into schools and teach children to work with clay. And I work in various community organisations as well who want me. So I'm going to be working with Art for Clay as well shortly. So yeah, it's all exciting stuff.
So did these things on your table exist when you came this morning, or are they all freshly here?
So they're all being made today.
I've taken a photograph already, so
cool.
We can show.
So this I made yesterday, because that would have taken some time to make. But everything else that you see on the table's been made today.
So the shape is just with your hands? The lovely shape, the sloping of the bottle, and it's just with your hands?
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
And a good eye?
Yes. Well, I don't know about a good eye, but because I need glasses and I'm getting up.
So who have you have your children grown up to see it today?
Everybody, actually. Yeah, some people who've never seen pottery before or touched it, or lots of children have been here today asking lots of questions, which is absolutely fabulous.